Titans, Bitcoin is cooling off a little after setting a new all-time high yesterday of nearly $73,000. So when can we expect to hit our next two targets of 83.5K and 102K? And what altcoin am I eyeing up right now that has not had a breakout yet? Stay tuned to find out. Kevort, hit that intro. Let's kick it off with the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Today we are at 81, which represents extreme greed, which isn't that high considering we just set a new all-time high for Bitcoin yesterday. Thinking back to when we saw our most recent significant correction of about 15%, we were at 90. So let's keep that number in mind moving forward. Now let's move on to your daily reminder that the Bitcoin halving is in just 36 days. Also note that the halving date is now estimated to be April 18th, but again, it's a moving date based on whenever the 210,000 blocks have been added to the Bitcoin blockchain. Moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. Looking at the 3-day window, there's slightly more liquidity building up below the current price action than above. So there's not necessarily a clear direction that Bitcoin could go from here based on just following liquidity. However, based on historical context, Bitcoin tends to shake out both sides of the liquidity just before making its next big move. Tread carefully, guys. Now let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin ETF flow table. Yesterday, March 11th, we continue to see strong numbers from the institutions purchasing Bitcoin, with none other than BlackRock leading the way again as they purchased another $562.9 million worth of Bitcoin. If you haven't already noticed, BlackRock isn't joking around here. Despite the slightly higher volume of outflow from Grayscale, which sold just under $500 million worth of Bitcoin, we still finished with a positive total of $505.6 million overall. Guys, this is your reminder that we are only 72 days away from a decision to be made by the SEC for the first Ethereum spot ETF by May 23rd. Don't sleep on Ethereum because you know what happened to Bitcoin leading up to the approval of the spot ETFs back in January. All right, now let's hit the charts. All right, we're looking at the weekly time frame for Bitcoin to see how long it took for Bitcoin to hit the 1.272 and 1.618 Fibonacci levels after surpassing the previous all-time high of about 20K. So as you can see here, we hit the 1.272 Fibonacci level of about 24.2K within the same week that we broke through 20K. And then 2 weeks later, we broke through the 1.618 Fibonacci level of about 30K. So let's take a look at where we're at now in the weekly time frame. As you can see, we are in our first week above the previous all-time high. So based on recent history, there is the possibility that we could reach the 1.272 Fibonacci level of about 83.5K either this week or possibly next week. And from where we're at right now, we could potentially hit the 1.618 Fibonacci level of about 102K in about 3 weeks. As aggressive as this may seem, just keep in mind that every time Bitcoin is broken through and closed above the previous all-time high, this marked the point where the price action went parabolic. All right, now let's talk about my altcoin pick of the day. And as always, this isn't financial advice. So far, we've seen meme coins, AI, some layer 1 blockchains, and now some gaming tokens are breaking out. But we really haven't seen the NFT narrative play out yet. So I'm setting myself up early now for Blur, which is currently forming the right shoulder of this inverse head and shoulders pattern. Based on this pattern, the breakout price level target is about $4.80, which represents about a potential 500% gain. Titans, we are your one-stop source for guiding you through this Bitcoin bull run. Please join us as we continue to provide the latest market and technical analysis that are going to give you that edge.